Lord Jesus, we come to you this day. We ask you to guide us in the county's business. Let us do all for the whole. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to approval of minutes. That motion.
Move we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to claims. Extreme excavating, $14,875. Little Black Creek, the fund has $21,936.24. And Cook Excavating.
You got it. Yeah, Secretary.
Sorry. So I need a motion on the extreme.
Where's that straight from?
Tipton.
Just tell them what you told me.
They've got it brushed and they've got it all dredged and they've put rock in the rock chute. That's a partial payment. They'll have a little bit more when they level the spoil. They're gonna wait till the spoil levels to level it better.
How much is that? $2,000 or $3,000 a month?
Yeah, it pretty well, between what they have, difference between their claim and the bid and what's going to be spent on the rock chute, that pretty well eats up the fund.
Make a motion to approve extreme excavating bill for Little Black Creek.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to Cook's Excavating for $3,532. Pipe Creek, the fund has $138,832.42.
Move pay the Cook bill.
Clean up for Miami County and more dead trees in the same area.
I'll second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Moving on to old business, the Little Newbie Crossing discussion.
What degree does the board want to pay on taking there's two crossings that's the only access to the property for the people, and they both need lowered, one about 2 feet, one about 2.5 feet.
Are they public or they ours?
They're private crossings. The code says we can do anything from not pay at all to pay at all. So it's up to the board on how you want to. It won't be that expensive to take them out, and putting them back's not real expensive. It's the shoring of the ends, if they have to be shored to keep the dirt more vertical so they get a wider crossing. I approached both landowners, and that was their wish, was that the board would take them out, put them back, and they would pay for the shoring and making up the drive.
They did that before they bought the place.
The owner would pay.
To shore them up, but was hoping that the board would take them out and put them back with the maintenance fund, seeing as how it's their only access.
Are the houses back there?
No, the one has a house on it, yes, and the other one, it's about 50-50 there. Property, half of it's on one side of the ditch and the other's. One's where the greenhouse is, and the other one's Seabold's to the north.
So they pay into this fund?
Yes,
Not other than that, so.
no.
Who determines if they're good or not?
I'll make a motion, let them fix their own.
Who determines if they're good or not?
Me, probably.
You know, we start moving these things, it's a private crossing, we're gonna be doing it for everybody. And make a,
That's true. You set precedents.
and if we wanna share a little cost, but then you set a precedent there. Private property, it's your,
For years, they've had to do their own.
yeah. I don't know what it's gonna cost the property owner, but
I mean, we'll give permission to do it.
What happens if, I don't want to pay more than we have to, but I sure don't want to draw this thing out and 6 months and fight this thing and we spend, so what happens if we say they gotta move it and they don't pay, or how do you make them pay, or
Well, we're gonna take it out.
The
you're
board,
just gonna set it off to the side?
the board can, yeah. The board can go in there and remove them if they weren't established legally, but I can't prove they're illegal or legal. We'd have to go back through the minutes and see if they ever approached the board to get permission. I don't remember ever.
If it did, probably years and years
Probably
ago.
before all our time.
But then neither one of them are deep enough, so it makes me think that they weren't checked to put them in, or they would have put in deeper.
What I've done is I done a crossing from your drive-through
Before,
forward.
yeah.
Could you do
Can
that?
that be done there?
The one could, the other one, no. They're too close to the property line. The Ford would be extending onto the next property owner.
In the estimate of what? I know you don't know.
$1,500 to $2,500, something in that nature, to pull them out, put them back.
And then they pay to keep the ends down.
Yeah.
Are they,
And then,
They seem like they're solid steel pipe. They're not corrugated pipe. They're a tanker of some kind.
you're the final judge to say what the ends are down or set or secured enough.
Yeah.
How much is in this fund, Mary?
Monthly log on.
92,000 or 100 and something. That's 103, something like
They're
that.
on Back Creek.
Yeah.
Well, you got 107,000 in it, and what's in Kane bill, 25,000 or so?
Yes.
So you got 82,000, and then you got 6 or 8,000 coming out from Fairmount. So you got 76,000, 74,000 in that fund.
You'll have to take them.
So you got a motion,
Do it themselves, but they have to be in our specs.
you got a motion from Kenny.
Yeah. Kenny, your motion is to let the
Let them take them
homeowner-
out, but it's done in our specs. Make sure the pipe's deep enough. In case we come through and
Let
look,
them put them back in, take them out.
if they want to put them back in.
So we,
It's their,
what
their
is
money,
exactly
their
is the
money.
motion?
So we're just taking them out now.
Well, his motion is that the board take them out as we dredge, if we dredge. And that the landowner put it back
Are
in.
we going to dredge?
Eventually.
Well, that's where we're at on it, because, you know, this is holding up Raymond's letter on
Dredging it.
dredging it from Meridian Street to the south side of 22, what we're gonna do with these pipes. I do not want to pay for them anymore, I have to, but if you're gonna put them back into your specs and take them out, I think somewhere you just gotta say, hey, we gotta do it and be done with it and move on, and go from there, but
They get to pay to put them back in.
how do you assess that? Or just set the pipe offside and say, if you want to put it back in, you gotta pay the contractor.
Yep.
Yeah, contractor can put it up on the bank, and if the board's not gonna pay to put it back in, then it would be up to the landowner to put it back in.
So you got the motion from Kenny then?
Need a second.
I hear what we're saying. We gotta work with people.
Yeah,
I'm getting tired of people. Probably these people didn't do it.
that's right.
No doubt.
They didn't do it.
Well, the last one, the guy we ended up dealing with didn't do
The
it.
water went over backyard.
Yeah.
So they knew what it was before they,
And they gave you permission, obviously.
No, or they'd be cheaper if they
Yeah.
were.
But on the other hand, we need to get moving on this.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's been drug out. The thing about the Back Creek is we gotta get something done so it'll collect for next year.
McCain's are moving in next week. They said to start doing the brushing, so that will take some out. I don't know if that's enough to make it
I don't take
active.
enough out. We gotta take 17,000 out and they build something like 25,000.
put the tile back in, make sure they put it down low enough that
Yeah,
it's a creek.
I-
Because you said these one low enough. These aren't.
No, they need
I got
those.
second.
They need those.
We take it out, but it goes back into one of
There's no
those.
Yeah. So the motion is that Kenny, made the motion.
Yes,
That the drainage board takes it out,
takes
puts
it
it
out.
back into second at the landowner's expense.
Correct. We got first.
We're putting it back in at
No,
their expense?
Specifications.
it's sitting up on
There,
top.
okay.
Does it need to stay per drainage
Second.
specifications?
So
Per
explain
drainage
again,
board.
explain again where we're at.
Okay, the drainage board's gonna take them out
If and when we dredge.
if and when we dredge. Then set them up
Well,
for the
well, then they-
homeowner, we'll have to put them back, it'll be up to them. Per the drainage board's, regulations.
I mean, where we're at, okay.
So we got a first, I need a second. Okay, we got a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
No. You're deciding back there, you got vote.
So you two said no?
Yeah. You got,
I'll say yeah.
pass it.
Okay, moving on to the Lomax drains, dredging and pipe installation.
This is on the Lomax from the north side of 38th Street. It was dredged 4, 5, 6 years ago. Well, it starts at the field and then goes south to be dredged yet.
From the west side of, what's that angle?
Valley,
Valley
you're
Avenue.
gonna start, so it's from Valley Avenue to the end of the original old Lomax.
Okay.
Wendell was up there last week or 2 weeks ago and turned it back over, the dredging and the pipe installation. The pipe is to get back from if you come off of 38th Street to where it tees to go to the wetlands, to put a pipe in there to get back in there, so when it's dredged, that silt can be thrown on the east side instead of the west side. And then so we can have access to all the old Lomax, or to the new Lomax and the old Lomax and the drainage easement behind the houses.
The only part is between the two houses there north of 38th Street that's restricted as far as access.
Right. But you just got contacting people, right?
Yeah.
Which I think they gave permission already, but it'd be good if you could. So, it's just to give Raymond permission to pursue that,
A letter.
a letter,
Is
pursue that.
Is it including the pipe, the crossing pipe?
I wouldn't, I'd do it all the way there.
Okay.
So what size of pipe would you put in?
Same as what's on 38th Street. I think it's 6 foot, I think.
So we just need a motion from the board, the pleasure of the board.
So I need a motion to dredge and put the pipe installation in to make another entry to the Lomax, the old and the new.
Yeah.
I make that motion.
I need a second.
I can't say that.
Second. I know.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye. Abstain.
Abstain. Motion carries. Moving on to Lomax Drain, Sarah Costello, mowing discussion.
Hello, I'm Sarah Costello, 4326 Starkey Drive, HOA President of Heritage Village. I just want to first say, I know Mary had requested from Right Away and us hold harmless form sign for Right Away to do the work for spraying, so I want to hold that over to Mary, put it on the record. And that was drawn up by the attorney and again, signed by us and Chad from Right Away, so we are approving them to move forward if that's who you go through. And then second, thank you for letting me come and talk about the mowing. So last week, Wendell, and his crew came and did mowing and took out some trees. We were here at the meeting on July 14th. Our understanding was that mowing was approved on July 14th. Our understanding of mowing is mowing the grass, not taking out trees. My understanding, my reasoning that I was given by a board member was that they took out trees because that was approved a couple years ago and it never happened. So I understand that trees need to be removed. I want to thank Raymond for coming out on Tuesday and walking with myself another board member and a couple other ladies that live in the neighborhood and showing us, and talking us through different things. And after seeing certain things, I do understand that things that were let go that should have never grown. So I think a lot of us agree that some of that trees and stuff needs to go. We just ask that more clarification when work is happening. Like we were told at one time, by Mary that mowing and spraying was gonna happen. Again, nothing mentioned about trees. So if, we ask that more communication about exactly what's going to happen when someone comes out and does work. So like, especially when dredging and more trees get taken down, because I understand that is going to happen in the future. And it does need to happen. I don't think any of us are disagreeing with work needing to be done on the Lomax. We just want, again, going back to the notification, more communication on exactly what's gonna happen, because a lot of residents were caught off guard when Wendell and his crew were taking down tree after tree. And then I also want to bring up safety concerns from the work. There was a bunch of debris that was going different directions with the equipment that was used. Some of the debris hit a fence, did go over a fence and someone's private property. And so I just want to bring up that we would like to see work done safely and with more care. Because I did actually approach Wendell, and brought it up in person, because when I got calls, you have to understand, like HOA, like we get calls when things are going wrong, right? And I don't get paid for any of this work that I do. I also have a full-time job, so I have to interrupt my full-time job to deal with these issues that happen, right? Again, I'm not getting paid for any of that, and I interrupt my job. We have to take time off from our jobs to come here to deal with these issues as well. So I just want to, again, bring it up that a lot of neighbors were concerned. A lot of neighbors want it done. They do want it done, right? But they want it done safely, more care. Because again, I brought it up to Wendell. I was going to show him, but I understand he didn't want to walk way over where it was. And I interrupted his work, and I do apologize for that. But I wanted to do it more in the moment that was happening. And he didn't seem too concerned about what had happened. And again, I know
Things happen when you're out there on the site.
I know, but this is also the second time where we've had stuff
And
similar.
What are you trying to block off out there? The shopping centers or what? With the
What do you mean
trees?
block off?
The trees, you want trees growing out there?
Oh, yeah, I mean, there is a resident that's working with Meyer to try to get trees put back, so there's a barrier there, because there's a lot of noise from Meyer, especially the trucks at night and different things when they're loading. And so that was in the contract, I believe, when Arbor, that was an agreement. And so when trees got taken down out there, like there's so much noise still and stuff. So Meyer's working on getting trees put back in to have that barrier. Like I said, that was per the contract when they built and everything. So again.
Who was there first, Myers or the shopping, or the
I have no
houses?
idea. I've been here since 2021, so I don't know.
She is right, that was in the contract, that's what I've always been told.
Yeah, so it's, and
On the very top of the ledge, on my
Yes.
property.
yeah,
I tell you what, we put this thing, as long as I've been on the board, a long time. My proposal is, we get a contractor to come in, find out, not Wendell, everybody's against him. He do it for free.
I understand
You
that.
don't understand what free is.
No, I understand,
Kenny, we got this.
yeah.
Okay, ma'am, we appreciate your concerns and all. We'll try to get dressed.
We find-
And then I also want to just bring up too that, Lindsay Haymaker could not be here today, and she did send, I don't know if Raymond, you got the email, so her concerns are also laid out in that email, so I don't know if Raymond, you can share that with the board.
I gave Richard a copy just a little bit ago.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll look into it. We thank you.
okay, thank you, I
There's a-
appreciate it. And then,
there-
go ahead.
There has to be a creek down through there. Years ago, or whatever, I'll make a motion
You don't have to.
that we come in and clean that creek all the way down through there.
Can't send them.
Myers they got a pit there that's got 24-inch tile in it that's over half full of water.
Okay, we got it.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you.
All right, moving on to new business. Hummel Creek, Greg Brangle, maintenance request.
Greg Brankel, 6245 East 5 North Van Buren. So I come to talk a little bit about the Doherty branch that runs off of Hummel. I talked to Raymond about it. The area of Hummel that Extreme cleared this spring for us, there's a branch that runs off, goes east and goes north up to 650 North. It's called the Doherty branch, I think. To my knowledge, that has never been dredged. There's very few trees or brush on it. And I asked Raymond if it would be possible for us to have that dredge, start at Hummel and just dredge the Doherty branch up to 650. Because at the top of the creek, there's always water standing up there, and there's cattails and grass in the bottom of the creek. And I was told, which makes sense, there's a high spot in the creek somewhere, and it makes sense. It would hold back the water. So I'm just asking for permission, I guess, to have the Doherty branch dredged, and there's just a little bit of brush and a few trees on it. We could just clear that too.
Is that money up?
Does it collect?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on this, okay.
It's a
Do we know where the high spot
It's
is?
a tributary.
Now, without looking at it, I'll have to investigate.
And there may be more than one, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't ever remember that creek being dredged. And
Is there a tile at the top end underneath that water?
well, I don't,
Does it wind around there and go to that crossing that's up there by, Brackles?
yes, that's,
Okay.
it starts right there where you used to live.
When we owned that property, we got it cleaned out a little, but not very far.
And I think
When
Todd,
Charlie was alive, he did it.
I think Todd Henshaw did a little bit of work on
Yeah.
it years ago.
That there's a limitation as far as how much depth we can get gained because of Hummel. Hummel's got sediment in Hummel, so we can't go down to the original Hummel and go up to Dottery, but we should be able to go up to Dottery and take out the high spots and at least relieve the problem areas. I don't know about digging the whole distance, or if we need to hit it in a couple of spots, I won't know till I look at it. But it's right up there where, it's right north of where
Randy Kitts.
Randy Kitts is wanting the brush cut, and then Young's, Linda and Tim.
Yeah.
They're requesting that I go up there when crops get off and take down trees out of their section too. They've got close to a half a mile of the Hummel that they're wanting to spend money on. So time and investigation, and we should be able to get.
We got a watch opening up the top end though, don't wait for run flat out.
Yeah, that's why he recommended not doing anything on Hummel, which I'm okay with. I would say that Hummel, there where he cleared, the water just falls down through there. So there's gotta be a lot of fall going down through Hummel.
I just don't want to get a whole lot of flow down between Bocock and Bethlehem and cause log jams and flood out people.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
It's a lot of connections. Me and Richard were looking at a map this morning. There's a dozen or more people between Bocock and Bethlehem to notify to get permission to go through there and at least get a path where we could go in with backhoes and at least pull log jams out. I mean, going through there and cutting the path 40 foot, 50 foot wide to dredge it, I don't think is necessary as long as we get a path to get to the log jams. But
And I don't have any issue with any of it as far as, do you need to go out and look at it and see if there's some high spots that can be taken out? Is that what you're
on
thinking?
a Dottery?
On the Dottery.
Yes, that would be my preference.
So we can motion for Raymond to.
I move that Raymond investigate the Dottery and see what it needs.
So are you then gonna check it at Hummel to see if we can dredge the whole thing then, or what do you think?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
I'd rather go down to the bottom end and get from Bocock to Bethlehem and get through there with a path. I don't know how much that's gonna cost, and don't know what we're gonna find.
So until you get that done, you're saying probably nothing on Dottery then?
No,
We'll go look at it.
we do the Dottery,
You'll do the Dottery,
yeah,
but just the high spots?
right, just enough to get it relieved, because whenever the Hummel does get dredged up through there, then the Dottery will need dredged again, so there's no need to dredge the
Get it
whole
back
thing
in.
now.
Yeah,
For it to sediment back shut and then have to dig more out again if we can relieve the tile. If you know where any of the tile are coming into the Dottery part of it, if you could specify that for me to look at, that would help my investigation because that's what I'm gonna.
and I think the biggest issue is the top end there, obviously, because that's where it's
Well,
all,
at the south end of that, kind of in the middle of the section, that's pretty wet too from what the satellite's showing.
okay.
Seems like the water's not getting out of there, just looks like
That's,
it's wet.
that's probably where the high spots are in there, that's one.
All right, I got a motion, I need a second.
Second.
Got a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there a grass way where I can get along that, or will I need to wait till crossing?
You can all the way, probably. I don't know about on,
Who farms the north part?
one side of it's Henshaw, the other side's Pinkerton. I talked to both of them.
Okay.
I don't have any issue with it, obviously, but,
It's not too
Motion
bad.
carries.
It's not too bad in 100 degrees. I'll walk up through there and look at it.
okay, I appreciate it.
I don't want to walk it if it's 100.
Yeah. I'm on
Was this was regarding?
I made the most of it, I can't do that.
You make one.
I'm on home, I can't do it.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion
Did it again?
You got
Abstain.
carries. He's got one abstain.
Come on, Richard.
Got all
That's because we're talking about the daughter.
You wanna do it again, or you got it, Mary?
I'm sorry.
You got it, or you wanna do it again?
No, go. I got it.
Other business, the Heimlich drain, public hearing.
So we're continuing the public hearing, reopening or continuing the public hearing from July 14th. Right, good morning, Andy Baroker, attorney with Bakery Drinker Biddle and Wreath. With me this morning is the project owner, Arthur Rodin, our engineer from Kimley Horn, Eric Feigabel. So continuing on, just to remind where we are requesting under 36(9)27(34) subsection D, the regulated drain vacation. State law provides or allows you to issue an order vacating the drain. So that's the end result of what we would like from your public hearing today. So in order to vacate the Heimlich drain, it requires you issuing an order. So that would be the end action that we're asking for from you. This is vacating all of the Heimlich south of the railroad along 650 Arthur. We have boards, and I'll turn it over to Arthur Rodin if there are any questions for me on the process. I appreciate you letting me know from the last public hearing. I did talk to your attorney, Kyle Persinger, and we got those issues and questions resolved. Mary has our signed petition. If there are any others, he didn't have any other concerns or issues. And I asked him to raise those for us so that we could address those in a public hearing, which is what the public hearing's for. So I did reach out to Kyle and want to make sure that that's in the record. So if we're on the record, I'll turn it over to Arthur. Arthur?
So Arthur and the PNRG regarding the Heimlich vacation and speaking with
Okay,
Doug.
okay.
Sorry,
Speak up.
it's speaking with Doug here in the past couple of weeks on this matter, and I believe we have come to a resolution on the Heimlich. So I guess Doug, if you have.
Yeah, I'll speak to that a little bit. So, okay, in your packet, the two things we talked about at the last meeting, and Arthur and I talked about another thing since then, we'll get talking about here, but, we talked about Jeff Gall being taken care of. You got these papers in your packet?
Yeah.
And this just the
That's the one flowing south from
Yeah.
the 600
And
intersection.
so Arthur and Jeff spoke, and Jeff's out here too, and I'd like for him just to confirm this. But Jeff sent this picture through an email of what him and Arthur tentatively agreed on. Jeff, where you at? Right here. Yeah, Ted, come on up here. The tentatively agreed on to take Jeff's water from going east to 69, take it south. This tile would stay on Jeff. There wouldn't be any cause for an easement or any other landowner's permission. Is that right? That's what you sent me. Yes. So that would satisfy Jeff. And then we would turn it over to those two to figure out their dollar amount and how they're gonna handle it.
Right, we kind of agreed on this, the dollar amount's still in question, and I guess that's not finalized yet.
But I think we agree in concept that.
Yes, we do agree.
Okay. Kind of paper back, please.
What's it, once you attach to something?
So it's gonna run to the
What Jeff explained, there's a,
two owners down there. It's
It'll
Gary
run to
Ollinger.
the south, approximately 2,500 feet. It does cross two owners right before it is outletted on the south end.
Okay. So it is a good outlet.
yeah.
It is a good outlet, yes.
Okay.
They were actually out surveying it yesterday, then they got rained out. It is workable, it does go through a pretty big hill, so it has a section of it's a pretty deep cut they may have to put it in with an excavator instead of their wheel machine.
Okay.
But he said it was workable.
You're satisfied?
What's that?
You'd be satisfied?
Yes, I would be satisfied with that.
We're not working on
We
it.
get the, worked out on the money end of it, I'll be satisfied.
The other issue that Jeff and I spoke on the phone, there's a homeowner, there's two homes there. One home is east, can drain east. The other homeowner, Roy Stanley, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that he would have the option to hook into your tile if he needed to come that way, or where do you stand on that?
He would have that option. It'd be all at his expense, obviously. You'd have to cross the road.
So that option is there for him to get,
I mean, it wouldn't be at my expense if,
Right.
but that is an option for him.
yes.
Yes. Okay, I just want that stated so that could be an
Where
option.
his more natural drainage direction would be back north to the, Long Branch where it comes under the railroad. That would be was the natural water flow.
Okay. So that, in my mind, satisfies Jeff Galt.
On that one, instead of the other.
Yeah, we won't get to that in a minute. Okay, we're good at that. The other, Arthur, and Raymond and I have talked about, and Jeff too, at the northwest corner of the Sheriff Solar Project, is that the name, that's the name of it? Correct. Is the Long Branch open ditch that comes underneath the railroad, and the Long Branch tile that cuts through the corner that is on the present property that we have a legal easement through. Correct. And the first drawing, or the only drawing I've seen, that you sent to me, that you gave to them back in December,
Right.
had solar panels over it,
So there's no solar panels on that because we don't have any crossing on that area.
or a fence across. Is this,
No, there should be,
do you have an updated drawing?
no, because what we had approved in December is what we have to adhere by, and we weren't up in that area, which is why it wasn't highlighted. So there's that, talking about the other one, the Long Branch comes down onto Bresnall, so that's your jurisdictional setback there, and so we're avoiding that altogether.
I'm gonna pause it, why don't you explain a little bit to me?
Sure.
Because Raymond, how did you see the drawing?
I thought the solar fields were going close to the open low max in that corner.
Long Branch?
Long Branch, sorry, too many L's. Long Branch, low max on low. Where the Long Branch comes underneath the railroad.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to put anything over there because you have the Long Branch coming down, slicing that corner off, and you've got setbacks from non-participants that are already set back, so it's not gonna make sense to put anything in that area. South, east of there, yes.
You do have a Long Branch tile that does leave the ditch and runs
Towards the.
southeast.
That's what we're,
And that's what we're talking about. And when I seen the map, it looked like the solar farm was over the top of that tile, the map I seen.
Would you be okay with us somehow identifying where that tile runs and get it marked and clear the setback from?
I mean, what's there currently? Because you guys have mapping in the GIS system currently, which is what we're working off of for pretty much everything here.
I found the ends of it, but I haven't found the legal description right across there. Not foot by foot, so I don't know where the exact Long Branch tile easement is. I'm confident I can find it, but
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, you guys have jurisdiction over the tile, where it is. So if you find something, then we'll have to accommodate that.
you just have to set back from it.
Correct.
Okay,
And speak on the head wall of Long Branch.
speak on it.
Well, just how far they gotta stay off of it, and
You gotta be 75 feet from the Long Branch open tile and then the Long Branch tile. Or the Long Branch open part, 75 feet, and the tile, Long Branch, 75 feet.
But the tile is 75 feet from center.
yeah, you gotta be 75 feet each side.
Yes, 75 feet on your east side of the tile.
Yeah, I think the parameters on the open ditch are slightly different because of the,
At the top,
From the top edge of the bank.
correct. Yeah, but yeah, I think we're all on the same page here.
okay.
Yeah, we won't let you build in there.
So you are going to make sure that happens.
Yes,
Okay, Arthur, stay right there.
Yep.
The other thing Arthur and I talked about is, the Long Branch has no money in it. The Long Branch, we do have a public hearing happening, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, two of them. So Arthur and I have talked about, them contributing to the Long Branch. I know Raymond has talked about in a meeting too, and you met with them, Arthur and these guys and his crew. The number that Arthur and I talked about yesterday was 50,000 to put in the fund. But, and, it's a change of use, but the other thing they're asking for is to vacate the the Heimlich south of the railroad, or south of the railroad.
Yeah.
Where I stand, I don't like vacating it, but here's why I would vacate it is, A, we don't even have a tile in the easement. The tile that they found on the west side of 600 was cut off and cut several times when that farm was ditched, so it's non-functioning.
Non-functioning, there's a utility pole through at the north end, and then based on what Kimberly Barn came up with, it seems to run along the west side of the road and then dead ends of a block, but none of it's functional.
So, where do you want the vacation? We want some money
Yes,
to help to get the fund.
yeah, on the vacation, I think, what we talked about was vacating the tile and legal description, anything tied to the Heimlich south of the railroad, because there was some ambiguity between what the county had in mapping, what Raymond was able to determine from the legal description. So anything pertaining to the Heimlich south of the railroad would be looking to vacate here. And then on the donation in support of the Long Branch, I'm happy with 50,000. What I would say there is, based on the future assessments for drain tile, whether it's the Long Branch open drain or the Brelsford or any other drain that is on area around the project, that the assessments would stay the same as they are now.
Agricultural classification.
Agricultural classification throughout the life of the asset.
As far as a acreage assessment, not a commercial assessment or hard surface run.
Well, I think that's what we're saying here, right? Like, if we want to keep it under agricultural assessment. I'm happy to make the donation here, but don't want to come back and you guys, reassessing this with
Hard
a
surface.
solar plant on it and, sextuples the assessment value.
Which, okay, let's talk about another issue, and Jason, you and I talked about it a little bit too. The way Jason Miller has explained it to me, and this was interesting to me, because I've always assumed that a solar field would have more runoff than an ag corn and soybeans. Arthur and I talked about it yesterday, Jason and I talked about it previously, and it's about an equal runoff, according to you guys.
It's actually less. If you have native plantings, vegetation below the solar panels, the runoff is actually less with solar panels than agricultural row crop runoff.
Which makes sense.
Once you explained it to me, it did.
Correct.
It did make sense. Does the board understand that? Gordon, what do you think?
Well, they're changing the use. When you put panels, you're changing the use.
Right.
What they put underneath will make a difference.
You say will?
Well,
Yeah. And your intention is to spread native,
Yeah, native vegetation modules, correct.
what is native?
So usually there's a local NRDC office that'll be like native seed.
Correct. I hope it's not thistles.
That's grass.
That's what happens a lot of times.
Yeah.
Jason's in grass.
Yes. And that's what the Gas City reviewed on the stormwater analysis. If they change from that, then they'll have to come back before us.
Is there,
The other question I got, natural, if you're going to keep them mowed, or you're going to keep and I know thistles, they grow everywhere. You gotta keep them under control, either mow it or spray it.
Yeah, so this regular mowing, we don't usually let it get above 18 inches because that starts interfering with the nodules.
You know, how,
He said they don't let it get above 18 inches because it starts interfering with
The project,
the
okay.
project and the.
Need to get about 100 goats out there.
I don't want to-
They got a bullet.
Yeah, and you said they would, right? To point, mow it.
Yeah.
Kenny said you got to mow it.
There's regular maintenance on these projects. It becomes a hazard otherwise.
What else we cover? I mean, I think we covered about everything you and I talked about last month.
Yeah, I think we're gonna just be, the donation and the corresponding assessment for those tiles, whether it's, the Long Branch Open Ditch, Heimlich North Railroad, Brelsford, and then River Ditch.
Assessment.
Yeah, the ag assessment.
What is the ag assessment out there now? What's the, I know it's zero, but what's the, public hearing amount going to?
I thought it was 10.
That's why I thought it was $10 to an acre. Does that make sense?
we have to have a hearing,
No,
yeah.
no, we haven't, but we've had,
If you go into it, I think the amount's still in there.
have we had the motion to have the meeting?
Yeah, I've got the notices ready to mail.
So the Long Branch notice is
They're getting mailed Friday.
$10 an acre, is what it's going to be. Is what the public hearing is for.
Yep. And I think we're fine with that as long as it stays at that number.
We can't go more than 10.
No, because that's what we've advertised.
As long as we keep it the same category. I mean,
Correct.
the conversation had been before of possible hard surface runoff or hard surface for the solar fields versus just plain agriculture, and what he's wanting is a commitment that will keep it agricultural assessment.
But it sounds to me like if push comes up, they could prove that there's less runoff than agricultural ground and.
And that was already,
Okay.
the drainage study that was tendered before this board back in December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, you got anything?
Yeah, just, I guess I just want a little clarity on, that we're going, the tile that we're gonna change around to the south, as far as, can I give the contractor a go ahead of that now? Do we need to wait till the cost is in?
That's okay.
How that be handled, and then as far as, money wise, how's that handled? I just need a little clarity on how that all transpired.
That'd be a bylaw.
Yeah, that between you and Arthur, I think it's,
Okay,
Arthur, we got some, like I said last meeting, it's been a pleasure to talk to you through with this and so forth. And so I think we've got to have some trust that you two are gonna work it out. There is an issue, Raymond, we have some trust in Raymond that he's gonna be able to find the Long Branch legal description, and you two are gonna work it out, and then go from there.
Do you pay a legal, an assessment on the Long Branch now?
No, nobody does.
Nobody
I
does?
don't think so.
He's on the Heimlich, that's how he got involved.
So if he switches his water the other way, he won't have a ditch assessment anymore,
Right, right.
because it'll be private drain.
Jeff's assessment will go off of the Heimlich and the Long Branch because his water will be going south somewhat. As Jeff mentioned earlier, the natural flow of that ground is towards the Long Branch open under the railroad, but it's very little fall that direction. If you guys were willing to let him out of the assessment, I'm sure you could word that to where he could be out of the assessment for Long Branch.
Okay,
Question? Yeah, question.
no,
I've got a question.
not other than what I just had,
They're gonna take it somewhere else,
South.
South.
and then you'll have to pay assessment on some drainage on
No.
south.
It's person or private.
It's private tile.
There's no regulated ditch that direction, it's the river. They're taking it to a ravine off the river.
Private tile.
Yes.
Can you understand?
I got private tiles going into my ditches and I pay on the ditches.
Well, his is go, his.
His private tile will go clear to the river.
Yeah,
Okay.
it won't go into another tile. South.
Cause much still won't.
Okay.
Then
Okay,
As long as they get worked out.
you got any other questions for, you good? You got other questions? Okay, I'm gonna make a motion. Arthur, you good? I'm good. Okay, concerning the Hyman drain, I'm gonna make a motion, that the board vacate the Heimlich drain south of the railroad, the Heimlich drain, easement and the tile, south of the railroad upon, what's the company's name that will be writing the check?
BR Solar Sheriff.
That BR Solar Sheriff contribute 50,000 to the Long Branch Fund, that Raymond and Arthur come to agreement on the Long Branch easement, and Jeff Gallner and Arthur come to agreement.
Need a second.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Hope nobody dies in this. Or somebody can take over if somebody dies in the process.
Well, it's a 40-year agreement, and I'm 43, so I'll be 83, so yeah. I'll have other things to worry about.
All right, moving on to Crane Pond reversal of a vote. The board determines that due to the pending litigation involving matters related to the project, it is in the best interest of the Grant County Drainage Board to withdraw the contract award at this time. The board may reconsider the project at any future contract award once the litigation has been resolved or otherwise determined appropriate.
So you need a motion to reverse the vote to rewarding the thing.
Yes.
I make a motion that we reverse the awarding of the contract for Crane Pond to John's Repair.
Who got that? Who got that?
No, this is, we have to reverse this because it's in legal right now, so we're reversing the vote and wait until they get down to all legal.
Can you make a motion?
Yeah, I can. I made a motion.
Okay,
So we need a second.
second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
The only other thing we need to just address real quick, I need to keep the board up to date on the Lumbo. I know there's some landowners out here, just to listen, or if they want to speak up, but Kenny and I kind of forget where we're at on the, addressing the board. But Kenny and I went to a meeting, with probably 12 or 15 landowners a month ago, on a Friday morning that Max, Millsworth hosted, at his place. They talked about, how they will handle it. They were presented some tile sizes and numbers on how to do it. There was, Steve Miller was there presenting about it, and they asked some questions about they want some clarification on some things. I came out encouraged that they are going to, try to get it installed. I mean, they got some ways to go, but I felt like the momentum was there to do it. I know would you guys agree, Eddie, you were there, would you agree with that, or Steve, you were there? One thing that was talked about, and Angie Jarvis couldn't be here today, but I would like for her to come explain this, and they talked about that meeting, and I guess I'm just informing the board, because I didn't know about it, but there were some of them that want to pay up front if it goes through, and there's some of them that want to pay over time. So the way Angie explained it to me was, obviously the board has in the past has been able to assess everybody in the watershed one fee, a fee over an amount of time, or like they did on the Elliott, everybody paid up front. The other option that Angie explained it, I've seen her in person, we talked about it again. I want her to come explain to the board, and we addressed the members or the ones at the meeting this way too, was that the board, I don't think has ever done it this way. But Angie said we could if we wanted, if it didn't get too complicated and we wanted to, but let's say you have 4 landowners. And 3 of them want to pay up front, but 1 of them wants to pay a certain amount over 6 years. So the way Angie explained it to me, or the way Corey explained it to me on the phone and Angie explained it to me in person, was that the board can assess those 3 landowners a one-time fee. Let's say they're gonna pay over 6 years. On year 1, a one-time fee to get the money in the fund to get the project started. Landowner 4, they can assess them equally over a 6-year period. So everybody pays the same amount. And you can assess the different landowners different. Is that the way you guys understood it in the meeting, Eddie and Steve? Okay. I want Angie to come explain that in person in the meeting, just so we are all on the same page and I didn't repeat it wrong or these guys took it wrong or one way or the other. So I think you're gonna have another meeting down the road sometime. I know Steve told me this morning he shot some grade and got some more information on our prices on it. So I guess I just want to let the board know where it was at so it didn't be shocked nobody or go for it. Raymond.
Eddie, get up there.
Go ahead, Raymond, go ahead, while he's coming.
So the 4th person's amount would get paid out of the general fund to cover it to get the project done?
Say it again.
With the 4th person in your scenario that didn't want to pay it up front, that's gonna make the 6-year payments, their amount would be taken out of the general fund to get the project.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's, I think it's either somehow that has to be worked through. No, I don't think so. It would be in the fee.
So I mean, in that scenario, you would be a 4th short of the money.
Yes, that's correct.
One of the other 3 would have to come up with the amount.
Yeah, and in no way the general fund was committed to these guys, but the fund under the Lumbo tile, they were told how much money's in there, and I forget how I worded it. That the board would have to prove it, but the board could, you could use that money, or it was kind of loosely worded.
Right, well,
So we weren't committed, but we were.
Now, there's
help.
some houses down in there in that Lumbo or.
right,
A different name.
there are houses along 00,
9th Street.
Ninth Street, yes, that's not been included in that, at this point in time. The question is, we got together as a group and everyone there said they would commit to pay their share up front. But
They
then we
wasn't all
had,
there.
what's that?
They wasn't all there.
They weren't all there.
Charlene, Loretta,
Well, wait a
Charlie
minute,
wasn't there.
everyone that was there, but there were like 4 that were not there.
Yeah.
And I knew at least three that's not communicated back with Max about what, they are willing to do. And then was one wanted to know if they could pay it over a period of time. Our question is, if that's allowed and how it can be allowed, for them to pay over a period of time, what happens if we have some in there that says, we're not paying anything? What do we
they
do?
just take it off the taxes and put it on the tax roll.
I mean, that's what, what's gonna happen there?
Yeah, I think we need to get some clarification on that, because, what happened, like you said, if they don't want to pay and you do it privately, and I think it's a gray area where the board can really, I don't think the board can really enforce anything if you do, I don't know, there's just a lot of questions to ask.
Sure.
And figure out who's
If
paying.
you do it the way you're talking, then the 4 pay, the 3 pay, and the 1 don't. And then the county collects the money. If they don't pay, it goes on their tax roll.
Well, if it's ran through the board, but if they do it privately, if they make it a private tile,
I understand.
then I don't know if the board, I
Can't do anything.
don't think the board can do anything.
Because if the board were to do it, I do believe it would fall under a reconstruction, and you'd have to have an engineer's plan.
And a lot more money.
Yeah.
And more money involved.
Yep. The other thing that I know Kyle mentioned, and we talked about a little bit, is easements, and we ran into it on the Heimlich over here, is easements if the tile is moved at all, is whether the board would be interested in making the landowners that it goes through sign an agreement that, hey, we can move the easement.
That title's gonna have to be moved.
Yeah. So that way, so we don't run into what we just ran into on the Heim Lake, that 100 years from now, 80 years from now, when we're all gone,
Cause
you got something over here and you got something over here.
Yeah.
You know, let's get this thing back to where let's get the legal description to match the drain so that it's recorded and
on the west end, that couple feet deep.
he's talking about how deep it is and just where it's gotta be moved.
Steve,
Yeah.
you wanna talk about
Well,
that?
No, let's, yeah, no, you're right, the tile does have to be moved.
Yeah, because it's not deep.
I did talk to Wood Manzi from Gas City area, and he's willing to present a price to the board to do such things as far as moving the easements and rewriting them. We didn't talk any price.
One, we won't be able to move the easement until they're done with it and they petition us to take it as a county drain.
So we got a lot of work to do.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
These former homeowners, is there anybody willing and thing to pick up the tab and get it done?
That's up to them.
I mean, you're spending a lot of money, and if you go to, if they don't want to pay, I've done many times, I just pay it and get it, so they get it done.
Yeah.
Finland, though, I see that's some of the names, and I'm assuming they want it done.
Yeah.
They can pick up the tab.
Yeah, the homeowners were not invited to that meeting.
Right, they were not.
But I know they have it, I don't know who all Max went and seen, do you know, Brett? I don't know if they went to the homeowners, I don't think they have, but,
I think you have leverage on the homeowners with, they have to have a outlet for their perimeter drain, and that is going to be their outlet for their perimeter drains, and none of them will be able to get a legal system without that.
yeah, but they can't cut them off either.
No.
No.
So I think I guess what I mean, my goal was to just update the board on the discussions that were happening in the background. And that these guys, until they turn it over to the board, have some homework to do and just answer them questions and go from there.
Okay.
Is that, thank you, Steve, real quick.
Just a couple words.
Yeah. Yeah, come up here. Sandy, you got anything else? Good.
So as was shared, yep, we did have a meeting at Max's place and it was very positive. Very encouraged by everyone's support and all. And so a couple questions you mentioned, Kenny, about, moving it. It's less than 75 feet. I actually shot numbers yesterday, very, very hardcore numbers, and it is very attainable to have the cover in less than 75 feet away, moving into the higher ground just a smidge.
When you get west of 13, I farmed out there. I know. This has been 40 years ago. And the county highway would come through and burn the road. And we had agreement with them to bring that dirt over and dump on that ditch. And that ditch is not, when it goes down to the creek, it's not very deep. I don't care what you survey.
I surveyed at the bottom of the creek, and I have an elevation at the bottom of the creek.
Up there where the hog barn was.
I started.
Back through there, that isn't very deep. You can tell me it is.
The current one is not very deep, but the elevations are elevations, and that part I can't lie or can't change.
Well, if you got elevations, if you got room.
Yeah, it is possible.
That's 100 years, 100+ year old tile, 1895 or something.
It's a very doable, a very functional,
there's a lot of water going in.
rebuilding.
But you would, ditching machine.
Yeah, you remember Steve presented at the meeting.
Steve,
Yes, Steve.
he's down west of Pleasant.
Yeah, the other, yes, and so,
Well, now, half an idea, what are you talking about on the price of this thing? 10,000 or 10?
they're still working through it.
Yeah.
So where it stands now is, you correct me if I'm wrong, but, Jeremy Warnick from Springfield sent it to an engineer at Springfield. And he's looking over, it. So that's where it stands right now. The other thing that we need to discuss as a board, this Lumbo drains into Taylor Creek.
That's better.
Off of Taylor Creek, there's a chute that comes out of an open ditch, and whether the board would be willing to clean that with the Taylor Creek fund.
Only went down to Billy's house when we cleaned it before. From north, it wasn't clean. Down to
9th Street, Morrow.
18.
So,
Down through there wasn't clean. Down around, Jim's place.
yeah,
Does your plans dump into that little prong off of Taylor Creek? Is that what
That
it
is
dumps in?
correct, yeah, and it needs cleaned, but as Doug is talking about, Taylor, I don't know what it looks like from 9th Street and on down, but I know from 9th Street and going up, there's little wigglies, grass bars in there, and there's some major slough offs in that thing that's pretty bad. It needs some TLC.
Well, wasn't clean.
Well, there's money in the fund that we could address it at point of
So,
now. Taylor
what
Creek.
There is now.
Yeah,
What Doug is asking, or what we were petitioning, is that we take maintenance money from Taylor and clean that part and at least alleviate a little bit of money funds for the actual Lumbo project, so we don't have to.
we've done that on other big ditches where the tributaries come in, clean the tributary so many feet so the sediment in the tributaries not going into the main. That's not uncommon.
There's trees that, when you get up past 18, there's trees up there.
Oh, yeah.
good. You good? But you got your board got any questions? Yeah,
How much, what was his estimate on that?
They're working on it.
they're working on that.
This one individual wants to be on 6 years.
Yeah, or whatever, yeah.
They can work that out. I don't think it's up to us to work it out.
Right.
They should work it out. It's going to be very private, and they work it out. Maybe they pay a little more and get the money back. I don't know. I don't think we want to put it in the,
In the fund.
They're gonna have to do it.
If they do it privately,
They gotta work it out.
Angie isn't involved.
No,
They're not gonna, it's gonna be done through the county, cause there's,
To get on taxes, it has to be done through the
yeah, it's
board.
gonna be put on taxes.
yeah, but the money's going to be up front.
so I mean, there's a lot of gray area, there's a lot of things they gotta work out, but just wanna bring the board up to date what was talked
I
about.
thought the Elliott ditch money's up front, and they paid in there, and we paid the contractor, and so forth. That way you don't get strung out.
All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify saying aye. Aye. Motion carries.
I know someone else doing that.